Hello, welcome to Adventures with Scripture. I'm Carolyn. I hope you are having a wonderful day. We are going to be reading Daniel chapter 10. So we'll go ahead and get started. I hope you had a great weekend. Mine was very eventful. Saturday, I got a lot of stuff done. A lot of stuff around the house. I cleaned up my garage a little bit, so it looks very nice. My bikes are easy to get to, so I'm very thankful for that. Very blessed. And then Sunday and a big portion of Saturday, with the exception of making a couple of posts on my social media, I've kind of just stepped back. I didn't do anything on Facebook or Instagram. My family sent me a few things. Of course, I checked their funny videos or their inspirational videos. But other than that, I've just kind of took a step back, and I do need to upload the scripture writing plan. I have not done that the last 2 days, so I will make sure that that's done before this video goes out on Monday. Ow, I kicked my drawer. Anyways, thank you for listening, and we'll go ahead and get started. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Cyrus of Persia, Daniel, also known as Belteshazzar, had another vision. He understood that the vision concerned events certain to happen in the future, time of war and great hardship. When the vision came to me, I, Daniel, had been in mourning for 3 whole weeks. All that time I had eaten no rich food, no meat or wine crossed my lips, and I used no fragrant lotions until the 3 weeks had passed. On April 23rd, as I was standing on the bank of the great Tigris River, I looked up and saw a man dressed in linen clothing with a belt of pure gold. Around his waist, his body looked like a precious gem. His face flashed like lightning, and his eyes flamed like torches. His arms and feet shone like polished bronze, and his voice roared like a vast multitude of people. O Daniel, I saw this vision. The men with me saw nothing. They were suddenly terrified and ran away to hide. So as I was left there all alone to see this amazing vision, my strength left me. My face grew deathly pale, and I felt very weak. Then I heard a man speaking, and when I heard the sound of his voice, I fainted and lay with my face to the ground. Just then a hand touched me and lifted me, still stumbling, to my hands and knees. And the man said to me, Daniel, you are very precious to God, so listen carefully to what I have to say to you. Stand up, for I have been sent to you. When he said this to me, I stood up, still trembling. Then he said, Don't be afraid, Daniel. Since the first day you began to pray for understanding and to humble yourself before your God, your request had been heard in heaven. I have come in to answer your prayer. But for 21 days the spirit prince of the king of Persia blocked my way. Then Michael, one of the archangels, came to help me, and I left him there with the spirit prince of the kingdom of Persia. Now I am here to explain what will happen to your people in the future. For this vision concerns a time yet not to come. While he was speaking to me, I looked down at the ground, unable to say a word. Then the one who looked like a man touched my lips, and I opened my mouth, and I began to speak. I said to the one standing in front of me, I am filled with anguish because of the vision I have seen, my Lord, and I am very weak. How can someone like you, your servant, talk to you, my Lord? My strength is gone, and I can hardly breathe. Then the one who looked like a man touched me again, and I felt my strength returning. Don't be afraid, he said, for you are very precious to God. Peace. Be encouraged, be strong. As he spoke these words to me, I suddenly felt stronger and said to him, please speak to me, my Lord, for you have strengthened me. He replied, don't you know why I have come? Soon I must return to the fight against the spirit prince of the kingdom of Persia, and after that the spirit prince of the kingdom of Greece will come. Meanwhile, I will tell you what is written in the book of truth. No one helps me against these spirit princes except Michael, your spirit prince. I have been standing beside Michael to support and strengthen him since the first year of the reign of Darius the Mede. So there's a lot going on, not as much as in our last one, but there's a lot of information in a very short text. Most of the different books, the different chapters in the book of Daniel are usually between 27 and 34 verses, I want to say. And this one actually is only 21, so it's very short. So, between verses 1 through 3, Daniel receives this troubling vision and enters into a period of mourning. And while he's mourning for these 3 full weeks, what is he doing? He's fasting. He's avoiding rich food. He doesn't eat the meat, and he's not even allowing wine to enter or even touch his lips. This isn't just a ritual. This is his way of showing intentional humility. And Daniel is seeking understanding from God. And that's very important. Sometimes I notice when I have questions, even if I go 12 or 18 hours without eating and I do a lot of praying, a lot of things open up. I am real big on fasting for several hours out of a day or a few days in a row, just to kind of cleanse myself and take that spiritual time. I also notice the less carb-rich foods that I eat, stay away from sweets, I don't get the headaches that I used to get, and I used to get them, they were very, very bad. Anyways, I'm sorry, I could talk your ears off, but I won't do that. So between verses 4 through 6, we see Daniel sees this glorious figure. And how is he dressed? In linen, with a belt of gold, and a face like lightning, and the eyes are like flaming torches. They're bright and pretty and fiery. So this description closely resembles the vision of Christ from Revelation, the very first chapter. And so there's two possibilities that are often discussed when that particular topic comes up. It's either like a pre-incarnated appearance of Christ, or it's a highly exalted angel. So nobody knows for sure, but either way, it would still be something very powerful that Daniel got to experience. So Daniel is encouraging the holiness and the glory of the heavenly realm, and an encounter with God's presence brings it's got to be absolutely in awe. And it also shows a deep awareness of his power. And then when we look over at 7 through 9, even though the other people that are with Daniel, that they don't see the vision, they feel its impact and they flee. They just take off and they leave Daniel alone. And he's completely overwhelmed to the point that he loses his strength and falls face down. Has anybody ever just like lost their strength? It's the only thing I can really think of that I've had any type of like losing my strength was in high school doing an endurance test. And I basically ran until my legs felt like jello and spaghetti, and I finally got to the end and I just couldn't anymore. And my legs just went out from underneath me. So that's the most exciting thing I've ever had to experience, feeling as if all my strength is gone. But it would be so glorious to lose your strength to see something that beautiful. So as we move on down to verses 10 and 11, how does Daniel get to his hands and knees? A hand touches him and helps him up. And he is told that he is greatly loved. And that's got to be so overwhelming. Just an amazement overwhelming. And when you just stop and just kind of think about it, does anybody ever get those feelings when you're in prayer and you just feel so calm, but to actually hear that voice tell you, like audible it is something, it's indescribable. Like there's a dictionary and I could never even find the right words. Moving on to verses 12 through 14, there's a spiritual battle that is revealed to Daniel, and that, the messenger tells Daniel that his prayers were heard from the very first day. But it took 21 days because there was a delay. So 21 days for his prayer to be answered. And why is that? Because of the resistance from the prince of the king of Persia. And so who had to step in? Michael the archangel. He had to step in. There's so much behind the scenes that we don't even realize. And this reveals a spiritual conflict that's happening behind the scenes. And a lot of times we don't realize things that are happening, but there is a true spiritual war going on. Whether somebody's tuned in enough to hear it, see it, or even believe it, it's happening. Just look around, watch the news, read the news. It's overwhelming. So we're going to drop over to 15 through 17. Daniel is again overwhelmed and unable to speak, and he describes feeling helpless without strength. And even strong people, as I had just said a few minutes ago, faithful people can feel weak in a presence or any type of overwhelming circumstances. But you know, that's where God meets us, is at the parts where we feel so overwhelmed, like we just can't handle it anymore. And God steps in and he's like, I got you, son. I got you, my daughter. Just think of it that way. Just go to him, no matter how hard. And then verses 18 through 19, the messenger touches Daniel again and is strengthening him, and he's telling him, do not be afraid. Peace be with you and be strong. And then Daniel regains his strength. God doesn't just reveal truth, he strengthens us to receive it. And that is so important. Always remember, at your weakest times, just call out and God will strengthen you. I've been there. I promise I have. And it is hard. And then what happens? The messenger explains to him that the battle is not over, that he must return to fight against the prince of Persia, and then the prince of Greece will come. But Daniel is assured that what is written in the book of truth will unfold. So do keep that in mind. What the Bible is telling us, it will come. And there are certain things out there that are happening, that by reading the book of Daniel, by reading Revelation, and my next goal is to go into Acts, because I believe that that follows. I will do a little deeper of a dive to see if there is another book I should start with before. But I think I want to say it's Acts that we should read next. But if you have any ideas or any comments that you would rather us read something else, please let me know. I am always here, and I look forward to anybody communicating with me on any level. So, but one thing to take away from this, if you take nothing else away from it, prayer is heard immediately, even if the answers are delayed. These are our key. This is key for our lives. There is a spiritual realm, and it's activated and it's at work around us. Whether we see it, feel it, hear it, or even believe it, it's happening. And then God will strengthen us. Those who seek him, he will strengthen us. I am proof. Honestly, I am. And above all, we are deeply loved by him. So if you're having a great day or a bad day, just reach out to God. Thank him. Even if it's your worst day, thank him. Ask him for strength to get through it. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and leave it right there. I don't want this video to get too long. Thank you so much for taking your time and watching my video. I hope you have a very blessed week ahead, and I will be praying for everyone. Please comment, like, and subscribe.